Well, good morning from my side. It's myself, Jordan JT Huben, and Gary Fleming here for race number 1 of the Cadiz BMW Car Club of Cape Town race series.
Yeah, well, there's a new sponsor for this season, Cadiz, joining up with BMW Car Club of Cape Town. That is Cadiz Asset Management, and CAM is a fund manager that specializes in fixed income investments, and that is Spirit Invest, acquired by CAM, and that was back in 2018. Works with personal investments and institutional investments. So there we go, the BMW boys giving us a whole bunch of inside information as to what's happening in, and a lot of people get it all mixed up, BMW CCTT, BMW Car Club of Cape Town, BMW CCT.
Absolutely. We've got a good field of 29 cars coming out on to the track this morning for race number 1.
And the good news is that nobody bought the car, the new car that Neanderthal got, and said, anybody looking for a BMW? Nobody bought it. I'm sure a lot of people saw the videos of cutting out the back end of the car, and can you believe it, that BMW we spoke to when we did our walk this morning, that BMW without a driver in weighs under a ton. So that video that you saw about there's a rattle in the boot and there's no boot left, that is the one that we're referring to. So Neanderthal doing sub 1 minute 20s with that new motor car.
Absolutely, that thing is an absolute beast. Obviously, it was in the hands of Marco Retta before, and we saw what he did in multiple events from the likes of the Killarney Time Attack powered by Master Drive. And in regards to that, a big, I say congrats, for lack of a better word, to BMW Car Club of Cape Town for their diamond sponsorship of Master Drive coming on board to support them as well. Another big feature in the BMW Car Club of Cape Town race series fraternity. And not only that, something you will notice, Gary, is that there's something a little bit bigger on the front end of these cars. Just in case, we'll wait until the next shot, if you can go back to that shot looking down the grid. If you didn't know who they were sponsored by before,
there's no doubt now.
I'm pretty sure you know now, so good for them to make a slightly bigger banner. And not only that, come the end of the day, if the clouds decide to do the Western Sea ahead of us, they'll have some sun strips to help them out coming into the afternoon.
And you know what's nice, when BMW Car Club got this as a main sponsor, of the guys that ride with these cars ride in a different class with the same car as well. And the question was asked in the background, okay, so what happens if you're doing 2 different classes? And BMW supporting the Car Club of Cape Town, supporting their sponsor, said you will not be allowed on the grid if you do not have your main sponsor on the front windscreen. So a bit of payback for the effort, interest and income from Cadiz.
For sure. And what that is especially, it is a commitment to the class. I mean, that's what you want from the drivers. You want commitment to the class that you will be racing in, because at the end of the day, if you are committed to that class, the class will look after you. And that's exactly what they do for the drivers, does the Cadiz BMW Car Club of Cape Town.
If you think about it, this is the newest class at Killarney right now. And look at that, we've got in excess of 20 cars out there, and not everybody made it out. There's 29 out there today, keeping in mind that the Groenewald car ran bearings just yesterday in the workshop by Chase Herald.
Terribly, terribly unfortunate. But
they almost fixed it, and they decided to play safe. They said no. The idea was, let's just drop it and stick some other bearings on and what have you.
But then that opens a whole door of issues, possibly, as well. Rather just keep it safe.
They actually picked up, Chase, when he drained the oil, he picked up that the bearing had actually flattened out, and there was shavings, not just shavings, but flat sections that had now melted out of the side of the bearing cap. And he just said, listen guys, let's not take a chance. It's not going to be worth it. Let's rather fix the problem that we have to hand and come back for the next race event. So 29 cars out on circuit.
Yep, rather save yourself the trouble and the team the trouble and whatever else the case may be, than trying your luck on something that might not be so lucky come the end of the day, well, especially if your day is on the shorter end. But here they come, the all-new Apex Bets. Maserati pulls off to the side of the circuit. That is our official pace car. And here comes Marco Retta to start them off. Here we go, Gary Fleming.
Alrighty-o, I do believe that Marco Retta and Neandertoy at the front end of the pack will probably take the whole shot. It's Marco Retta, Neandertoy, Kai van Sail. Great to have the Origin Oils car of Kai van Sail in there as well, as the rest of the pack works its way through. The big hitters lead out of turn 1.
Yep, lovely to see Kai van Sail finally out and racing this season. There was quite some time that we thought he wasn't even going to bring that car out, but there's been so much work done to that absolute beast of an Origin Oils BMW 1 Series, and he's finally out, and he's sitting there in third already as they all work their way into Castro Corner turn number 2. Down into Dam's Dip they go. Yes, Gary.
And everybody made it through. You see that one black BMW in the middle? Our ex-man behind the microphone for IMUSAT. He's out there in the middle of the pack once again. That Class D battle everybody was speaking about, that is where it's happening. There you see him.
Yep, exactly where it's happening. And as they race out of Sarl Sweep turn number 4, the fastest corner in the Western Cape, some might say, the double Apex right-hander leads them out. And Kukamud all over the show at the back end of that mid-pack battle. As they go down towards turn number 5 into Cape Town corner. There I see Sharif Reynolds. I say ex-Clubman's motorcycle racer on a Ducati, or classic motorcycle race on a Ducati. He's moved to the cars now in that M2 BMW, and he's doing mighty fine in the mid-pack so far as they race down into Block Point corner turn number 1. There's second place Neandertoy, the Origin Oils car of Kai van Sail. Then a big battle here for Class C and D. It's Kilbride, Joubert, Gray, Bruce, and Page just behind them as they go through turn 1.
Right, as that same group of cars work its way along the Joubert Straight, racing down into Castrol Corner as they make their way through. Dexter Bruce in there just behind Mark Gray. Then it's Ernest Page, Swanepoel coming through. Sean Tubis working his way through as well as we pick up the leaders. That's now heading out of Damstip along the Tygerberg Straight into turn number 4, Saddle Sweep. But the leader is racing all on his own down that Killarney back straight towards Cape Town corner. And that is Marco Retta. Neandertoy is in there behind him, followed by Kai van Sail. But behind van Sail, that's where it's all on. Kilbride, Joubert, Gray, Bruce, Page, Swanepoel, Tubis, all of them racing down the back straight towards Cape Town corner.
Yep, the front end will disappear into the distance, but this is where we're looking. It's 2 by 2 they go, with Mark Gray and Dexter Bruce currently fighting it out. The Irishman and one of the local town bumper boys, as we always know them
one
from
of the
Rallycross
two, they're
as
both
well.
out there.
And just behind the first of the two is Ernest Page. So those two good friends, and they were the breakfast show hosts as well. They are right on each other's case as they go down into turn number 1.
Yeah, then it's Swanepoel and Tubis that make up the top 10 as this group works its way through Blockpoint corner and heading towards the Joubert Straight.
Yep, I also see father and son Kwesi and Sebastian Swanepoel are racing in those two, and they are sandwiching at the moment Sean Tubis as they go out of turn number 1. There I see, there's Shane Williams, there's Mia Bench, and just behind is not Kobus de Kock, that's Johan Kukamur.
Werner Kukamur.
Werner Kukamur, rather, that goes out of that corner, but down into turn 5, Cape Town corner once again comes the current leader, Marco Retta.
Oh man, he is light years ahead of everybody else in car 5-0, sitting out there in P1. That's Marco Retta. Then it's a big gap before we see Neandertoy. There was 9 seconds between them on the previous lap. Now they're starting this one as they head through Cape Town corner. That is the toy coming through on a lonely second position. Kai van Sail pops up onto your screen there. Then it's Connor Kilbride. Right on his case is Dylan Joubert. Mark Gray has got Dexter Bruce and Ernest Page there for company. Then it's the first of the Swanepoels coming through. Tubis coming through there. And then the other Swanepoel followed there by de Kock.
I see Quinton, sorry, not Quinton de Kock. I'm thinking cricket now. Kobus de Kock has now gotten ahead of Sebastian Swanepoel. There's Sharif Reynolds, there's Lloyd Brady, Arnu Michaels, as well as Shane Williams, Mia Bench, Johan Kukamur, Down into turn 1 they go as we see the rest of the field. I say the rest of the field. The mid-pack now coming into Castrol Corner, turn number 2. And Sean Chuba's right on the case of that man, Kursi Swanepoel, a big name here at Killarney. And in the BMW outfit, there's a little bit of smoke coming out of Shane Williams' car. Mia Bench moving up the inside, trying to find a space to put her nose. And she gets shut out by Shane Williams as they race through and out of turn number 2.
Yeah, and Werner Kukemoer is also in that fight as well. As we go back to the second place man, that's working his way now through Cape Town Corner. That is the toy. And then behind him, it's Kai van Sail. And then behind van Sail, yeah, is a four-way dogfight coming through there. Connor Kilbride, Dylan Jabber, Mark Gray, Dexter Bruce. Bruce on the case there of the 8 car of Gray. Not much between them with the Ernest Page just there in the background. He is the 5th car there coming into view in that fight, heading under the 5A kink, under the bridge towards turn 1, Block Coin Corner.
Yeah, they're coming at side by side for these two. Up the inside goes Mark Gray and Dylan Jabber. Now it's white, blue and black as they go through. And it leaves Dylan Jabber pretty much black and blue at the moment as Dexter Bruce tries to go the outside throwing punches. But Mark Gray will block him over. Not exactly as he goes up the inside of Mark. He'll move a little bit to the left, leaving him an open door. And Dylan Jabber almost sneaks up the inside, gets closed off once again as they go down towards Dam's Dip, turn number 3.
They need to be careful here for Ernest Page. He's going to come through as well. And here's another fight coming through towards us. And it's a whole group. There's a lockup going there into, that's Brady, Lloyd Brady. That's coming through there. So with him is the likes of Reynolds, Michaels, Williams, Bench, and Werner Kukemoer.
Down into turn number 3, Dam's Dip they go. And I see Anu Michaels on the case of Sharif Reynolds in that M2 at the moment. Then it's Williams, Brady, Bench. Just behind Bench is Kukemoer. Just behind them is Yusuf Hendricks in that number 36, the MYH car. It's been some time since we've seen Yusuf back out on circuit. Obviously, he's a big instrument in the maintenance and building of some of these race cars out on the circuit in the BMW class as we watch this whole group of cars come down towards Cape Town Corner.
Yeah, that's that mid-pack heading towards the back of the field. That is the combination there of Swanepoel, Reynolds, Michaels, Brady, Williams, Bench. They're all in there. Then Werner Kukemoer, they are right in the fight. There's about 6-7 of them that's busy racing down the main straight towards turn 1, or the Porsche Club straight, I should say, towards turn 1, Block Coin.
We are now with 3 laps left to go for your leader, Marco Retta, as we still keep on this midfield battle. And it's still getting mighty tense. There you see, those are the 7 cars that leave out of turn number 1, Block Coin Corner. No moves being made as of yet. As into Castrol they go. Marco Retta now is on the case and reeling down that group of 7 as they go through Castrol Corner. There's Kai van Sail we see on screen. That is the current 3rd place overall for that Class C car as he comes out of Cape Town Corner, turn number 5, to start another lap for himself.
Now watch behind him. Here they come. Connor Kilbride, Dylan Jabber, Dexter Bruce, Mark Gray. Gray has gone in the wrong direction, as a matter of fact. They both got past him. Ernest Page was just there in the background as well, and he sits there in a P8 and 4th in class as we watch them race towards turn 1. But here comes that midfield battle, JT, into Cape Town.
Yeah, once again, look at that around the outside goes Anu Michaels. He is dropping a couple of places. He tried to go around the outside of Kukemoer, but he's been put in his place and he loses a handful of positions. There's Bench, there's Marco Retta making his way through the field now. These guys, however, will stay on their line. Marco will need to find a way around them, even though he's a dozen times quicker. He needs to be safe on this final lap of his.
1 more lap to go, and he's the quickest man up there. He's done a 14.236, so it's a very low 14s there for your race leader, Marco Retta, that is stuck in this midfield battle. Now, they will get blue flags. They will know that he's there. Now's not the time for them to hit panic buttons, otherwise they're going to take the leader out. But they know he's there, and they will just hold their lines.
Oh, that's very wide, and very unfortunate for Shane Williams. He slows right down, which it looks to be some sort of issue as he'll pull into the oval section, and that will be the number 46 out of this race as they go now all on their final lap in that regard through. And there is Fourie, that's the Fourie car of Yolinda Fourie at 1 Series, and Sharif Reynolds has pulled off in turn number 5. There's some big issue going on there with a few cars as Marco Retta gets past on his final lap.
Yeah, on the last lap, drama for a couple of cars out there, as including Shane Williams, as we watch the leader head into Cape Town corner. All on his own, the big 5-0 of Marco Retta sitting up there in P1. His only Class A car out there, working his way through the 5A kink and racing down towards the checkered flag. And victory will go to Marco Retta.
Yep, in that Progress Precision Engineering car, that MDR Racing team for Marco Retta. And then at this battle, it's Lloyd Brady and Anu Michaels. There comes Kukamura ahead of Bench and Hendricks. And then Sharif Reynolds, who was at the front of that pack before the final, returned for number 4. He's dropped down just behind them, and that will be for 18th place as the rest of the field now comes through.
Yeah, Neandertoy will be the next one towards the checkered flag. And Kai van Sail crosses the line. Well, we're still waiting for Neandertoy to get to the flag, as a matter of fact. He hasn't got to the flag yet. Here he comes towards the checkered flag. That is Neandertoy. He will finish. Now we've got to wait for the Origin Oils car of Kai van Sail. Here comes Kai towards the line in that 3rd position. Then coming through is Dylan Jabir. And behind Dylan Jabir, here we go. This has changed around a bit. I think it has changed around.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's Kilbride, Bruce, Gray, and Page that finished their race in that order. So basically more or less the same in that group of cars across the line.
Yep, and there comes, Kusi Swanepoel just ahead. There you see young Sebastian Swanepoel, or Swanepoel Jr. also comes across the line now. That will be for 12th, 14th, and where I'm looking for, I lie, sorry, it's 9th for Kusi Swanepoel and 12th in the 111 for Sebastian, as they are the last to finish off the race. And that ends the first race of the Cadiz Asset Management BMW Car Club of Cape Town Race Series.
And the first 12 cars was on the lead lap. And Marco Retta did a 1:14.236. He was the fastest driver out there.
So a brilliant, brilliant race for this first BMW race of the day. And I have to say, a huge, huge well done to the BMW Car Club of Cape Town Race Series for the numbers that they've had out in this second round of the season.
29. That is massive. That is absolutely. Pity about Shane Williams that had to retire the car. This is just a replay of how many of them were involved in a fight. That was Dexter Bruce that was in that fight. And you just saw there with him the likes of Mark Gray and Dylan Jabir. And this was his mid-pack fight. There's Mia Bench in that lot as well.
Now, I'd love to know what happened to Shane Williams. There you see him in the 3rd in that group. And he pulled
That's
out on the
towards
last
the
lap.
end of the race, because
Yes.
there's the leader just there behind them, just behind Mia Bench.
There was a couple there. Shane already moves over to the side of the circuit.
Yeah.
And he sits on the inside of the circuit after pulling off.
And this is where
There he goes.
And this is where your race leader had to be very careful to circumnavigate his way through this lot and not get himself wiped out. But I must say, they all knew that he was there, and they all kept their lines very nicely indeed.
And another big thing that I realized just before the end of the race, Connor Kilbride had dropped 1 position to Dylan Jabir on that final lap, so something happened there. But Connor Kilbride, who was in Class D before yesterday, he broke out into Class C by 7 thousandths of a second. So now he needs to fight for Class C honors rather than fighting for the guys in Class D. But I think he wants to try and tow those guys in Class D to break out themselves.
That's Lloyd Brady. That marker's going past there. So that concludes our second race, the Cadiz BMW Car Club Cape Town Series race number 1.